All right, guys. So we had a lot of news dropped for Canadian women's soccer. Also, guys, remind me, we're recording our CAF World Cup qualifiers recap on Sunday night, so you'll start seeing it next week. So my African friends, don't worry. But let's get back to some women's football here in Canada. We had the roster for the April window dropped. It's crazy how this month goes, right? Nothing happens and then everything happens. So here's what we have for the women's roster for this month as was announced. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, also the fun things. Marie-Yasmin Alidou, Gabby Carl, Sabrina D'Angelo, Jessie Fleming, Vanessa Shields, Julia Grosso, Clarissa Laracy, Ashley Lawrence, Adriana Leon, Luciane Pro, Nichelle Prince, Quinn, Emma Reagan, Jade Riviere, Deanne Rose, Jade Rose, Kaylin Sheridan, Olivia Smith, Janine Sonis, Bianca St. George, Evelyn Vienne, Carly Wickenheiser, and Shalina Zadorsky. Those are the 23 who will be playing Argentina on the 4th and the 8th of the month. April, that is. Now, interestingly enough, there are some changes from the roster when you look at them. For starters, some players who weren't in the last window could be very interesting. You have Quinn and D Rose coming back, so they're coming to this roster. Interestingly, not included, you have Jordan Huitema and Simi Awuju, who are both injured. Megan Reed, Nia Rose, Ella Ati, and Melissa Chang are out. So they aren't coming back here. So a few more of the name. Bianca St. George was supposed to be in the last window, but didn't come through. And so it'll be very interesting. Again, you're playing Argentina, which is a team they have played before. It'll be a tough, physical game, I feel. Argentina does have a physical brand of football, but they will try to hit you on the counter. I think they're somewhere in between China and Mexico. I think Mexico offers more on that counter in possession. China can offer that as well, but they are also maybe don't have as much and more. Maybe they don't have as much in terms of pushing in possession, but when they have those set pieces, they can be very deadly, and you saw that with their movement. So I'm curious to see how this works. Also, this is going to come a week before the NSL kicks off here in Canada, so very curious to see how they look. But I think, just off the top of my head, this is a big window, I think, for some of those names that we're familiar with. The names who've been around this program for a while. Deanna Rose and Quinn. I think for D, she can still offer something. I do wonder, though, with the amount of forwards, right? The Olivia Smiths, the Nichelle Princes, the Jordan Huitemas of the world, Marie Dou's of the world. Where does she fit? I think she'll need a big window. I think we can look off of the legacy of players and always appreciate them. But at the end of the day, it's about production. And Deanne, I think, will need to show that production, that ability to contribute here, I think, to continue to merit these call-ups. As for Quinn, I think they're the interesting one. I mean, everything that the player represents is one thing. But with the emergence of Emma Regan in the middle, you still have Simi Awuju as an option. I do wonder if Quinn, if their game still suits how Casey Stoney would like to play. Also, with the emergence of young players, do you transition now and maybe let them just continue on their club career? Not to say that their time with the national team is over, but you know that standard is there, but maybe you do look to turn the page on some players. I think I include Nichelle Prince that conversation as well, as a player that you think, as a player you think, can they contribute what we think that they need in this roster, right? And so to me, I'm looking at that wondering, she does need a big window. Nichelle does, and like it's odd that we're just singling out that old generation, but the kids are coming. It's something I've said for a while, and so as a result, I think with the kids coming, you have to either make room for them and they'll carve out their room in this roster, or you say keep on developing until you reach the point where you're firing all cylinders. I mean, do you want to wait as long as Mimi or Chloe Lacasse waited? No. But those are two players who, Mimi's here, but when Chloe gets here, she's going to be another player who is going to definitely have her presence be felt on this roster. So this national team becomes very fascinating to me in terms of what they decide to do with it. So we go from the women's national team to the U20s. Kaylee Hunter went from the U20s to the U17, so a little interesting. But the draw for the U20s has happened, and it's a fun draw. Canada, again, CONCACAF Women's U20s isn't going to be a win your tournament. That's going to be more the traditional mode that we had normally seen, where there's a semifinal and then a final game. It doesn't look like there is a third place game because the top two in the group will be moving forward. So the groups are in Group A, the US, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, and Guyana. And then in Group B, it's Mexico, Canada, Panama, and Nicaragua. And so it's going to be a very tightly contested. I know you have the USA and Mexico as your favorites, but I think Canada fancies their chances to make it through. Panama, though, won't be a walk in the park, nor will Nicaragua. But then in Group A, you have Guyana, who really surprised, Puerto Rico, who continue to recruit well, and Costa Rica, who have a solid program. Games for that start in May, reminder. So it's May the 29th all the way to June the 8th. And you're going to have games every other day for that group starters. The first game is Canada, Panama, and then Mexico, Nicaragua. And that's going to be in Costa Rica. And then next day, the 30th, you have USA, Guyana, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, and we go all the way. The last matchups of the days are Mexico, Canada on the 2nd of June, and then Puerto Rico, Guyana, and then USA, Costa Rica on the 3rd, with Panama, Nicaragua on the 2nd. That goes off. Semifinals on the 6th, and then finals on the 8th. So again, we'll be curious to see how this looks. I'm curious to see what it is, guys. So again, we have the women's national team roster dropped, what we could see there. Also, we have the schedule for the U20s Championship. And again, in this one, top two in your group go on to the World Cup, but then you play for the trophy at the end. Let me know what you think, and as always, I'll stop talking right here.